Today I'm going to read is storytelling, and this is a new thing I'm doing every Friday that we're going to be reading short stories. Today, of course, last week we read the prologue of Family Patterns, and I'm going to finish this and kind of tell you my thoughts afterwards. So this is Chapter 1, Maple Hill, Massachusetts. Present day. Sarah Hart had been 12 years old the last time she set foot in the rambling Victorian house on Bristol Street. Familiar senses of cinder and cinnamon lingered in the air. They brought back memories of her grandfather's, whose bright blue eyes would twinkle with delight whenever she came tumbling through the front door. "Hey, Mom," Jason said as he entered the front parlor. "You're right on time. Hope you don't mind that I let myself in." She leaped up to kiss his clean-shaven cheek. Jason was a handsome man with a square jaw and short, dark hair. The door was wide open. "That's Maggie's doing," she smiled. "She already loves living in such a safe town." Jason and Maggie had recently purchased the old family home and moved from Los Angeles. Sarah was still pinching herself. "Just to be sure and lock the house up at night," she said, setting her purse on the parlor table. She probably worried too much, but something still unsettled her about this house, even after all these years. "We'll be fine, Mom." Footsteps sounded in the hall, and a moment later, Jason's wife, Maggie, appeared in the arched doorway. Her amber hair was swept back into a messy ponytail, and there was a spot of white paint on her chin. Hi, Sarah." Maggie walked over to give her a hug. Isn't it a gorgeous day? I've been painting the back porch." "I can tell," Sarah pointed to her chin. "Looks like you missed the spot." "Oh, dear." Maggie's eyes flashed as she reached to rub her chin. "I seem to get more paint on myself than on the rails." She looked up at her husband. "Maybe I should go upstairs and freshen up before we leave." "No time, Magpie," he said. "We don't want to be late." "All right." Maggie smoothed her hair as best she could and turned to Sarah. "I'm not sure what time we'll get back from our meeting with the contractor. We'll try not to be gone too long. But as you can see," she pointed at the strips of water-stained wallpaper on the ceiling, "there's a lot to go over." Jason and Maggie were in the process of restoring the old Victorian. Jason and Maggie had a huge task in front of them, but they seemed excited about bringing Grandpa Noah's house back to life and working hard to restore it faithfully. "I can stay until 6, Sarah told them. "Then I got to interview a new boarder. She just called this morning and sounded desperate to find a place." "We should be home before then." Maggie slipped her purse over her shoulder. "Thank you for doing this. I hope it's not too much bother." "Of course not." Didn't Maggie realize how much she relished the time with her granddaughters? For so many years she had hardly seen them at all. Now she intended to savor every moment. "The girls are upstairs," Jason said. "They're a little homesick today, so they might not be very good company." Sarah assured him that they'd manage. "Good luck with the contractor." "Thanks," Maggie sighed as she looked up at the ceiling. "We're going to need it." Sarah went in search of her 12-year-old twin granddaughters and found Audrey upstairs, sprawled on top of her bed, her sandy blonde hair spread out around her. The charcoal pencil in her hand moved slowly over the sketch pad in front of her. "Hello there." Audrey didn't look at her drawing. "Hi, Grandmother." Sarah approached the bed. What are you drawing? Me and my best friend. Sarah looked down at the small photograph next to the sketch pad. A ginger-haired girl with a wide smile had her arm wrapped around Audrey's shoulder. You're doing a wonderful job. No, I'm not, Audrey scribbled over the page. I can't even draw here. I can't do anything here. It's so boring. Where's your sister? Sarah asked. She would ignore Audrey's attitude for now. I'm right here, Grandma, said a muffled voice behind her. Sarah turned around, but she didn't see anyone. Amy? Yes, a voice answered, but from the corner of the room now. Audrey sat up on the bed. Hey, where are you? Sarah was wondering the same thing. She looked around, hoping to catch a glimpse of Amy's freckled face. Here I am, Amy replied. Her voice was now coming from a spot near the bed. Audrey hopped off the bed with a squeal. Are you in the wall or something? Amy's giggles filled the room. Hold on, I'll be there in a minute. A few moments later, Amy appeared in the doorway. Her cheeks flushed. Hey, Grandma. Hello, dear. Sarah reached out to pull a cobweb from Amy's t-shirt. So tell us the secret of your vanishing act. Amy grinned. I'm not sure I want to tell. Could come in handy if I want to do a little spying. Oh, come on! Audrey peered past Amy. This is like the only interesting thing that happened since we moved here. You can't keep it to yourself. Okay. A mysterious twinkle gleamed in her blue eyes. I found a secret passageway. Sarah gasped. As a child, she explored over her grandfather's house, but she never found anything like that. Where is it? In the weirdest place. Amy moved out the door. Come on, I'll show you. The twins raced out of the room, and Sarah followed a step behind. It couldn't really be, could it? A secret passage? It's in here. Amy led them to a walk-in closet. I was hanging up some of my clothes. She gestured towards the half-full boxes on the floor when I noticed that one of the floorboards was loose. Amy knelt down to demonstrate, removing the floorboards and reveal a small metal wheel underneath. When she turned the wheel, the creaking noise sound began beside them. Sarah turned to see a narrow panel in the closet wall slide open to reveal a dark passageway behind it. Cool, Audrey said, stepping inside the passageway. Wait a minute, girl, Sarah said, reaching for Audrey's arm. You never know what could be in here. It could be dangerous. But the girls didn't stop, and if Sarah was honest, she was as curious as they were about what lay hidden behind the wall. Hesitantly, she took a step into the passageway. Amy led the way with a flashlight, the beam stretching just far enough ahead to light their way. Dust tickled Sarah's nose, and she inhaled a faint, musty odor. The passageway was still and dark, almost smothered in darkness except for a narrow beam of flashlight, which revealed glimpses of bare wood walls and a thick layer of dust on the floor. How far does this thing go? Sarah wondered the same thing. The passageway seemed narrower now, and she reached out one hand to feel her way along the rough-hewn wall. I don't know, Amy said. I was exploring it when I heard you and Grandma talking in the bedroom. Maybe we should go back, Audrey hauled in her tracks. What if we get lost in here? Don't be such a baby. Amy turned and plucked the flashlight out of her hand. There's nothing that can hurt us, right, Grandma? That's right, said Sarah. She tried to sound confident, but a part of her wondered if Audrey was right. An odd chill filled the small passageway. A flashlight beam illuminated something by the wall. Sarah closer to the spot. "Hey, shine the light over here again." Audrey aimed a flashlight at her as Sarah cautiously reached out to pick up what looked like an old blanket. "What is it, Grandma?" Sarah's heart began to pound as she looked down at the bundle in her arms. It was a quilt. She moved it closer to the light. It couldn't be. She heard about the small quilt that had disappeared the same night that Sarah's great-grandmother, Molly, had vanished. But it's an old quilt. Sarah smothered her fingers over the vintage fabrics. Dampness had stained some of the fabrics, and there was a few small holes here and there. It's been up here a long time. She noticed something sticking out of the small opening in the seam between two square patches. She eased one finger into the opening, then slid out a bristle yellow piece of paper. Audrey leaned over her shoulder, shining the light on the slip of paper. "What's that?" "Something I never dreamed existed," Sarah breathed, as she read the faded, handwritten scrawl. "It's a clue, the only clue to the disappearance of Molly Drayton." And that is the end of chapter 1. And I hope you like this. This was just basically a sample from a mystery novel. So if you want to know what happened and who killed Molly, what's her name? Molly Drayton, then pick this up. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye!